How's it going, YouTube? This is FourthStarTCG, and welcome to the first video in our Sun and Moon deck showcases. We're going to be going over a ton of brand new decks that have come into being with the Sun and Moon expansion. Sun and Moon has a ton of wonderfully playable cards. So to begin, we are going to start off with one of the cards that a lot of people have been calling probably the next best deck in the format, with Lurantis GX. There's been a lot of talk about Lurantis GX, talk about Lurantis GX with Vileplume, Lurantis GX with Evolutions. I've built something a little different and it's been doing very well for me. So I'm going to be showcasing off that. If any of those other decks do become big in the format, or we get very solid lists for them, I'm not the best deck builder, of course, but if those lists do come out, then I will try my best to get a video out on that, of course. But this is the sort of standard Lurantis deck that I built, the list that utilizes Lurantis the most, I feel, and doesn't play incredibly frustrating stuff like item lock. But without any further ado, let's get into the deck profile here. So we're going to have a fairly standard 4-3 Fomantis Lurantis GX line. Fomantis, nothing to write home about here, just a 60 HP basic Pokemon. It's got Synthesis and Leafage with a 1 retreat cost. Fairly standard there. The main attacker in this deck is going to be Lurantis GX. With 210 HP on a stage 1, an increase of 150 HP from basic to stage 1. That's pretty nuts. But the Flower Supply attack is it's very, very good. This is like a Mega Manectric, but I'd probably say, I wouldn't say it's as good as Mega Manectric, but it's up there. It does only do 40 damage, but it is for 1 energy, and you can attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. So you can attach to Lurantis, you can attach to separate Pokemon. Doesn't have to be 2 energy to the same Pokemon like Mega Manectric was. But Mega Manectric also hit for 110, so... The second attack that Lurantis GX has is Solar Blade for 120 damage. You need 2 grass and a colorless. You'll always be using 3 grass for this pretty much, but you get to heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. It's fairly good. I wouldn't say it's a game-breaking attack, but it's very good in combination with Flower Supply, because if you're able to do a turn 1 Flower Supply with 2 energy in the discard, you can attach right to Lurantis, and then you can hit a maybe on your first turn, if you go second, you can get this out thanks to Forest of Giant Plants. But technically you could have a turn 2 Solar Blade. And the calling card of all new Pokemon GX is the GX attack, and Lurantis GX has the Chloro Scythe GX attack, which does 50 damage times the number of energy attached to this Pokemon. And this deck is somewhat built around that Chloro Scythe GX attack, and sort of modulating the damage that we get from that attack to fit the meta, as this is some decks like something like Umbreon, Gumshoes GX. If you build decks like that, Decidueye, the focus isn't really on their GX attack, and you're gonna try. That's not what makes them very good. But Lurantis, this GX attack is very, very good, and I see it. I've already used it several times in a lot of games, and it's very nice. So we'll just get on with the deck profile here. We play 1 copy of Sceptile EX. It's a fairly good backup grass attacker. On TCGO, people do play a lot of stuff like, for example, Regice, Jolteon, Glaceon, some sort of... I've seen a couple of like Ninja Box versions of that with Rainbow Energy, where if they Ninja Boy into something like a Glaceon, then we come in, we hit them with our Sceptile. The Sceptile is basically just in there so that we have a basic attacker. GX are a different mechanic from EX, so that's something that everyone needs to keep in mind. Your Regice will not lock down GX Pokemon. Your Hoopa cannot search for GX Pokemon. They're a different mechanic completely. So that's something very important to recognize. Yeah. So we have a 2-2 line of Spinarak and Ariados. Spinarak just fairly simple there, but Ariados is what we're going to be using. The ability Poisonous Nest. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may use this ability. Both active Pokemon, except for grass Pokemon, are now poisoned. So this is what we're going to be using in concert with Lurantis GX's Chloroscythe GX in order to pick up big knockouts on Pokemon with high HP that are powered up. So Chloroscythe with 4 energy attached, which is fairly easy to do because of Flower Supply, does 200 damage. Now 200 damage is a massive amount of damage, but it comes short of picking up some key knockouts on things like Yveltal EX with a Fighting Fury Belt attached. So 210 is something that's very important to hit in the game today because it knocks out those 170 HP EXs with Fighting Fury Belt. I believe Giratina is another 170 HP EX with a Fighting Fury Belt. Yeah, I don't believe Darkrai. I think Darkrai is 220. But if you're able to poison that beforehand for some reason, then you can hit that 210 damage and then they get knocked out by poison next turn or something. So Ariados is very good, just adds that extra bit of damage. I think stuff like Fright Night Yveltal is 130 HP, so your Solar Blade would not knock that out, but would with the Ariados. So Ariados is just a great, just adds just that 10 extra damage from poison, is worthy of running a 2-2 line in this deck. We play a 2-2 line because if we do go up against something that and it's integral for our Sceptile EX attacking as well. So that's why we play 2-2. I found that the most simple thing to run. We play 2 Shaman EX for consistency, fairly standard in any deck today. Now on to the trainers. We got 1 copy of Enhanced Hammer. Enhanced Hammer you should probably run in any deck that can afford to run Enhanced Hammer because the meta is full of special energy. We'll talk more about that when I get down to the type of Pokemon tool cards that we're playing in this deck. We have 2 copies of Level Ball. Fairly simple. We can search out our Fomantis, all 4 of them. We can search out our Spinarak and our Ariados with Level Ball. We play 1 copy of Revitalizer. Revitalizer, very good. You don't really need to run more than 1 copy in any grass deck, but it's great with Forest of Giant Plants because we can get back out something like a Fomantis Lurantis line, or we can, if our Ariados gets knocked out and we really need that damage, then we can pull that back out, just put it right back into play with Forest of Giant Plants. We play 2 copies of Super Potion, a card that you really don't see in a lot of decks, but is very good. Super Potion, you heal 60 damage, or it's very good in Lurantis. You heal 60 damage from one of your Pokemon, and if you do, you discard an energy attached to that Pokemon. With Lurantis, discarding energy isn't a big deal because you can get it right back with Flower Supply. After you Chloroscythe GX, you really don't need that fourth energy card on there, so you can Super Potion, heal that damage, continue to hit for the Solar Blade, or reattach that energy elsewhere with Flower Supply. So Super Potion, a very good card. We also have 1 copy of Super Rod. Super Rod, we just shuffle 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy. We got 4 Trainer Mail for consistency, 4 Ultra Ball for consistency, 4 VS Seeker for consistency, 4 Forest of Giant Plants for consistency. These cards all fairly simple. I think everyone knows what they do at this point. We play 2 copies of Lysander. Lysander, you should really run 2 copies in most decks at this point. Lurantis can pick up KOs on Shaman with Solar Blade. Very important to get those when you can with this deck. I've lost I don't know how many games by not being able to find my Lysander at the right time, so did up that count to 2. I was playing 1 earlier. 2 copies of N in this deck list. Fairly standard. You shuffle your hand in your deck, then draw cards for each remaining prize card. We play 1 Pokemon Center Lady, continuing with the healing aspect. So technically we could Pokemon Center Lady, Super Potion, and Solar Blade, and we could heal 150 damage from Lurantis in 1 turn. So that's just a very good thing, very nice thing to do. Professor Sycamore, discard your hand, draw 7 cards. staple. We also play, so these are the tool cards that I was talking about. We play 2 Assault Vest and 2 Floatstone. Assault Vest, any damage done to the Pokemon this card is attached to by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have any special energy attached to them is reduced by 40, and that's after applying weakness and resistance. So Assault Vest, I mean, just let's think of some of the top decks in the format right now. We have Turbo Dark with Yveltal EX, plays special energy. Rainbow Road plays special energy. Giratina EX plays special energy. Vespiquen Zebstrika plays special energy. All these top tier decks have a lot of special energy cards played in them, and even stuff like Solgaleo, that's probably going to be playing, Solgaleo Lunala is going to be playing special energy. So all these decks play special energy in some way or another. So having this Assault Vest can be very useful. I think it's better than Bursting Balloon in this deck, because Bursting Balloon, it only sticks around for 1 turn, especially with the healing aspect of this deck. If we want to stop that damage, Assault Vest is just a great tool card. So we got 2 of those and 2 Floatstone. Our Lurantis GX do have a retreat cost of 2. There's nothing in here with free retreat, so having those 2 Floatstone is very nice, especially when there's no tool removal. And we play 10 Grass Energy. So that is our deck list. Fairly simple, simple and straightforward. I really didn't want to try to crowd the deck out by pairing Lurantis with some other things like Evolutions or Vileplume. I felt like that would be a bit of a just too clunky if I was to do that. So it looks like we're playing up against some Fairy here. So we'll see what my opponent does. They're just calling the coin flip here and taking their sweet time to do it. There we go. So we win the coin flip, and we will go first. Alright, so he does see our Lurantis, and we see he is playing some Fairy Drop. I would assume Fairy Drop Gardevoir. So we're all going to be healing here. Alright, so we will start Sceptile. We'll throw Spinarak down. Sceptile can't hit for 130, which is good. Yeah, DCE though. It can't be, it's not Rainbow Road. I'm just wondering why you play DCE in a Fairy list, unless like this is some old Xerneas X-Blast deck, but I haven't seen that played in quite a long time. So we'll see what my opponent is playing, if they're maybe something new. Diancie. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Pokemon is your active Pokemon. Any damage done to your Pokemon by an opponent's attack is reduced by 30. Okay. So this is damage reduction. Everything. Okay. Fairly simple. I'm going to Floatstone our... But our Assault Vests here are going to come in handy. I'm going to end turn 1. Not going to play everything down yet. Yeah, I probably will play down the Assault Vest onto our Fomantis and our Forest of Giant Plants. So yeah, this is just a straight Diancie. No Mega Diancie or anything. Diancie, Lugia Break. With Fairy Garden. Ultra Ball for a Shaman here, I would assume. So I'll pull 6 cards from their deck. We see another Diancie come down, another Fighting Fury Belt onto the Lugia. I would assume you would play Lugia Break. My opponent will end me here. Yeah, not a big deal. As we'll Forest, we'll throw down our Lurantis. I'm going to attach there, and I don't want to lose our Revitalizer, a Forest of Giant Plants. So I am hoping for an Ariados off of this. We can still get it with a level ball off of our 2 trainer mail, or an Ultra Ball for a Shaman or something. But we can guarantee the Ariados here. As we see, well, looks like it wasn't even shuffled. What do we pull here? Grab another Ultra Ball. I am going to need to... I don't have anything to throw this Lurantis down onto, so I am unfortunately going to have to discard that. Yeah. We might just need to... No, our Assault Vest is too important. We'll get cards off of the Shaman. And there's our Ariados, which is wonderful. We're going to pull that. We're going to Poisonous Nest. And we're going to hit this for probably 100, I believe. It's reduced by 30. Yeah, we decrease. So we hit that for 100, and then it takes 110. This thing has 190 HP, so it's got 80 left. We can just hammer away with our Sceptile. Another Fairy Garden comes down. You see the Escape Rope. My opponent plays the Escape Rope. Just go into Lurantis here. And yeah, this won't do anything because I'm not an EX. 30 damage. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Alright. So we don't want my opponent to have free retreat. We're going to Ultra Ball away Lysander and this energy in order to grab out another Fomantis. And we will VS Seeker. I believe we don't have a Sycamore, so we'll just end here. I am giving my opponent 3 more cards, but I don't see that as too big of a deal. And we can drop the other Fomantis because we won't really be getting that back. And we'll pull out our second Lurantis GX. We can drop another Shaman here. Get some nice cards, and we will Flower Supply. And I see no reason not to attach to the active Lurantis here. Get ready for our Solar Blades. These will be taking our attack even though they do have 120 HP. They have the ability Pressure, which reduces damage, and then the Fighting Fury Belt. But our Assault Vest really coming through here. Dropping that damage down by 40. This doesn't have any energy attached. He's going to Lysander. I did forget to Ariados next turn. And yeah, he's going to KO our Shaman here with an Intensifying Burn. That might cost us just because of the math here, because this would have been at 40. Or would have been in at 40 going into his turn. So I have the Seeker. I can GX here to knock him out. There's 140 left. I think our best play is to GX here, which will knock him out. So we'll take the prize here. From what I've learned playing with these GX attacks, you kind of have this thought that, oh, you can only use one per game, so you need to save it, but whenever you can take a knockout with a GX attack that you wouldn't be able to do with a normal attack, that's when you should use your GX attack. And you shouldn't feel like you're wasting your GX attack. Like there, I just use it to knock out something that wouldn't have died to my Solar Blade. Would have gotten another hit, could have knocked out another Shaman if he had a VS Seeker for Lysander, or something along those lines. So my opponent is going to Parallel City. They aren't going to drop their Shaman. I suppose I could just Lysander it at any time. But even with this, I will be able to knock out a Shaman. But he is going to end me here, hopefully. Okay, we have 2 Seekers left. We don't pull one, but that's not too much of an issue, as my opponent can't even attack this turn. So we will get some stuff down here. We can Revitalizer and bring back Fomantis and a Lurantis. I guess we're just going to have to lose it though, as we don't pull a Seeker, which is kind of annoying, but I can get rid of this stadium, bring back our damage. We'll hit this for 90, and we will heal ourselves. I keep forgetting. I know. Should have used the Ariados. Man, I gotta remember that. Have to remember that. Apologies. Totally my fault. Because then this would be at 100. And we knock it out next turn, but no, 150 and another end. Seeker. Yes, there we go. Seeker and a Pokemon Center Lady. We've got 90 left. We can PCL. Heal almost everything. I think that's our best play here. I will Poisonous Nest this turn. And we will attach down here. Yeah, and we'll Solar Blade. So now we only have 30 damage on this. These are difficult to knock out, these Diancies. But we will get through it. Wonder what my opponent will be doing here. They are going to Sycamore, throwing away a Pokemon Center Lady and a Parallel City, which is always nice. Healing through those fairy drops. Another fairy drop. Another max elixir. How many is that? 3 fairy drops. Our center lady's gone. What is this thing at? 140. If we had a Kukui. If we had a Kukui. I can heal off again. And we're just kind of back where we started. Yeah. I'm gonna take prizes here. I think that's just the best thing to do. Because if somehow I get end out of this or something happens, he's gonna come back and knock me out. I do only have 90 HP left. That is his last fairy drop. And we're just going to pivot around here with our Sceptile to start. Alright, so we do have another VS Seeker. But we only have 8 cards left in the deck. What is this at? This is at 160. That's 150. Honestly, I think my best bet is just to Poisonous Nest and hit this thing for a bunch of damage. Take an attack. We hit this for 100. He's got no healing left. He's used all of his fairy drops. Oh, but he's got the Lysander. Oh, man. So we lose to Diancie Lugia. Man, that's just a little painful, I have to say. But we'll grab another matchup here with Lurantis. It looks like we're playing up against Mega Mewtwo. Could be a pain for this deck, just with the amount of energy that you're using. Yeah. This is where a Lurantis Vileplume would definitely be a strong deck, and we have a completely dead hand here. But who knows, coin flips with Sceptile could save us. We can hope for a Hoopa start. Nope, just a Trubbish. Mewtwo, Link. Well, if that's all for this turn, then that's not much, but we will Sleep Poison. We grab the heads and the tails, which is reasonable, but we still have no supporter. Still nothing. We'll Unseen Claw to pick up the KO on this Trubbish. And we grab an Ultra Ball off the prizes, which is nice. We have our Enhanced Hammer and our Assault Vest, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to take down Mega Mewtwo. Oh, but he forfeits. How lovely. Thank you very much, Mega Mewtwo. Oh, and we get 100 coins. Lovely. Fantastic. Alright, so we will grab one more game with this just because that one was so quick. But the latter is pretty nice. You get a Darkrai EX, Max Elixirs, Sun and Moon packs. We're playing against water. Okay, so hopefully we come away with a legitimate victory here. Lose the coin flip. You don't mind going second with this deck because you can attack turn 1 and it's really not that difficult to get that turn 1 attack off. But unfortunately we do start with Spinarak, and we do see Greninja break with Kukui and Bursting Balloon. So we should be able to run through this fairly easily. Everything we have one-shots Greninja. We see Ace Trainer, more Kukui. We have the healing. Our Fomantis will get one shot, but also think we'll have an opportunity to set down our Pokemon before the start of the game if we draw Pokemon off the mulligans. So we get 3 and nothing. So we see the Froakie start. My opponent does not play Talonflame, and we get N turn 1, so there go all the cards. But hopefully we'll get a better hand. Our opening hand wasn't the best, as we get Sceptile, Lurantis, a lot of evolutions, but a Forest would be nice off of this, an Ultra Ball, or a Sycamore. Not something I love, but it is better than nothing, and this is why we play our 2-2 line of Ariados and 4-3 of Lurantis. So hopefully we'll get something out here. We do grab the Fomantis. We will Trainer Mail here, which does grant us the Forest, which is nice. So we can make some plays here if we want to. We can Ultra Ball away this and this to grab out a Shaman. Use that Shaman. I know playing Shamans versus Greninja not the best plan, but we do kind of need it here, as we are able to get our Lurantis, which is nice, but we did pull 2 Forests and we don't have too much in the so my opponent probably just going to water duplicates here, I would assume. Yeah. So my opponent gets a good start, I also get a good start. The only option I have here is to Sycamore. I can't, unfortunately it does really stink to lose those 2 Forests, but I need that Float Stone. I'll grab the N. We got another Trainer Mail, another shot to hit it, and we do. Lovely. Perfect. So we'll throw that down there. We'll throw down another Fomantis as well. We will retreat, and we will Flower Supply, which will knock out this Frogadier, and we can also bring up an energy onto this Lurantis to set up for some Greninja knockouts. So I did have to go a little quicker than I would have liked, Sycamoring away all of those forests of giant plants, but we're going to see the Professor Kukui come out. My opponent's going to draw cards and do 20 more damage. See the Greninja, which is not the Aqua Shower, 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. That's interesting, I do have to say. But we are just going to, I think, just Solar Blade here. Knock out the Greninja, hit for weakness, and take a prize card. Froakie comes up. My opponent does... Okay, so there's the Breakpoint Greninja. The promo Greninja is interesting. We do see the Shaman get Lysandered. And Bubble hits Tails, which is lovely. So we can attach our energy here. Retreat out into Lurantis. We can level ball for our Ariados, just so that we don't get killed by maybe like a weird Aqua Shower. He has another one of those. But there's no need. I can just Flower Supply here. I have 200 HP, and this will bring back an energy onto... I think I'm going to put it on the Sceptile. And we will take another prize. That prize is a Lysander. My opponent needs a Pokemon. If they don't, well, they have the Froakie in hand because of the Splash Energy. And yeah, we see them put down the Froakie. We see the Dive Ball. Probably for Greninja Break, I would assume. Nope, trying to get out another Froakie. But yeah, Lurantis just... Greninja really has no chance versus Lurantis. I hate to say it. But... truly not much you can do. I am going to get out another Lurantis, just in case. Yeah, sometimes when you're playing like a game like this, you can kind of get lulled into a false sense of security. There's no need for the Ariados because I one-shot this. And we will take our prize. We got 2 prizes left to take. We will have fairly handily beaten Greninja. Would not be surprised just to see a forfeit from my opponent here. Not really much that they can do. Bubble. Hey, it could work. Tails. Unfortunate. Yeah. So we take the victory. What? So we are 2-1 with Lurantis. We lose to Diancie Lugia with massive amounts of healing, hitting everything they need when they need it. And unfortunately, we did not get to play versus Mega Mewtwo, but we did take the win versus Greninja, which is something that you should always take the win versus. So some fairly good matches. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will be coming at you with a lot more Sun and Moon decks. We have all sorts of decks to go over. There's so many good decks coming out of Sun and Moon. So be sure to stay tuned for that. So thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and stick around for more videos.